Hello guys, we're playing SIGNALIS again, and I'm gonna preface this video by saying that there's good and bad news for the video you're watching. So I'm gonna start with the bad news first in order to brighten up the mood with the good news afterwards. In case you haven't noticed, which I highly doubt you haven't, the video format is a bit different in this one due to the software I use for recording resetting to default. With that being the case, I wasn't able to record my voice while playing the game. And unfortunately I learned that after playing the video track back, so yeah, that's a huge bummer. I don't know why this issue still persists, but apparently the stock NVIDIA the stock NVIDIA GeForce Experience app is incredibly bad at keeping safe changes, and it just goes to default mode ever so often. RTX Voice does it too, and as you may or may not know, I use RTX Voice to filter out background noise. So yeah, that's basically the bad news regarding this video. Now onto the good news. I'm buying a new PC. I have had enough with gaming laptops. I believe I made a mistake when I bought a gaming laptop to play games specifically on it. But to be perfectly fair, this alleged gaming device has given me nothing but woes. It overheats very fast, and even playing Apex for like 10 minutes bumps up the temperatures to like 99 Celsius. And the game literally crashes, or the whole laptop freezes, and the only thing you can do is just force shut it down. But yeah, I'll be switching camps, gonna try those AMD graphics for the first time in my life. I've always been an NVIDIA guy, having gone through 4 different NVIDIA GPUs over the past 15 or 16 years. So let's see what happens. I definitely had the 8600 GT, then the GTXs, which are 760 and 960, as well as my latest one, which is 2070. But I don't really count this one as like a proper RTX 2070 because it's a laptop version. So yeah, but basically that adds up to 4 NVIDIA GPUs in a row. Never had a like AMD GPU, so I'm excited to see what this will bring. So many people are very content with their AMD rigs, and yeah, I hope I will be content too. So yeah, the thing that worries me more than anything though is that I've kind of found the sweet spot with RTX Voice, and now I have to get accustomed to another noise gate app or feature within an app that may or may not work as good as my current one. So yeah, I'm gonna provide commentary on this video and talk about different topics, sort of like how the early days of YouTube were, where you had a guy talk over a gameplay clip with something that's completely like about something that's completely unrelated to what you see on the screen. You could give me your input in the comments so that I know whether you're liking this format or you want me to give you the more authentic on-the-fly playthrough talk. Not that I have a choice to give you the latter right now, as I can't just go back in time and re-record all this, but still, that's for future videos. But yeah, speaking of the early days of YouTube, or should I say like the golden age of YouTube, because the early days were like 2005, 2007, and then like game commentary wasn't really all that huge. I think it started, becoming more prevalent in like 2008, like till 2010, something like that. Not really sure, but you get my point. So there were a few people that really, in my opinion, made me fall in love with this format. Those were the former Machinima Respawn members. If you remember Machinima, they used to make like gaming content and stuff like that. So those guys were Scott, Sean, Adam, or as many of you may know them, those were Mr. Sark, Hutch, and SIGNALIS. So these guys were, I'd say, the OGs of what they did. There were also a lot of horror game screamers who made tons of money from overreacting to jump scares and crying over their tough pasts. I'm not gonna say names, but you can already guess who I'm referring to. Anyway, those types of content creators weren't really my thing, because I was into the more genuine ones who just depicted the average bro you meet in a Call of Duty 4 match, or were entertaining without having to make me feel like I was their only viewer, hence why I watched SIGNALIS, Hutch and Sark. And I don't want you to get me wrong. In this very industry, where you have to be entertaining, there is always a fair percentage of how do I say this without sounding too cynical? You have to go above and beyond of what your true self would act like in the streets or inside the supermarket or anywhere that's not on the net. That was something I knew from the very beginning and quite frankly was discontent with, but I also know that in order to be relevant and stay relevant, one has to become a little bit of somebody else or push it up a notch. So I can't really blame entertainers for that, but I also wanted to watch something that was more genuine and casual. So that's why I vibe with the Machinima trio. Mind you, a lot of the skits were super fake, but that was made intentional for comedic purposes. Over-exaggerated fakeness and tackiness, or otherwise parodies is what you call them, can be pretty funny if done the right way, so I approve of stuff like that. Unfortunately, a lot of the content I used to watch as a kid or a young adult is no longer relevant. Words like playthrough, game commentary are at the bottom of the search list in the algorithm. And the funniest thing is posting playthroughs of games is pretty much what I've been doing for the past 5 months since I started uploading regularly. One more thing that really impedes my personal progress as a content creator in my opinion is not making bombastic thumbnails with my face taking up more than half of the screen. But yeah, if you don't follow trends, you'll never get traction, is what I'm trying to say. And even though this is a hobby of mine, I'd like to one day be able to just spend an entire day on a single video without having to worry that I won't be able to pay my bills at the end of the month. But yeah, one can grow his or her channel very fast. And I shit you not, if you make a reaction channel today and post one video, at the end of the day you have twice as many subscribers as I do, which many people would deem unfair, but is it unfair that people are interested in one thing more than they are in another thing? I sure don't think so. There are significantly more people playing, let's say, Valheim, than there are people playing all of the Warner Bros. Games combined. So it's only normal for Valheim players to be more easily discoverable than a random guy playing his obscure game and wondering why his channel haven't grown a single bit since he or she started like 2 years ago. Can't say for sure, but as a person with a pretty big mouth, I wouldn't put it past YouTube that they've shadow banned me because of comments or opinions that are generally taken as anti-modern society, especially when it comes to like the Anglophone world and Western Europe. I hope that's not the case, but I've seen channels being shadow banned after expressing their genuine thoughts after years of silence and compliance. I'd say shadow banning is for sure more detrimental for them than for me, for instance, because as I've said, I can start a channel tomorrow and nothing will have changed. I haven't earned a single penny from it, and the prospect of my videos getting any traction is close to zero. But just imagine how helpful it would have been if YouTube just sent me a message where it says something along the lines of don't waste your time uploading, nobody can see your channel anyway. And let me know that my efforts are in vain so that I can reorient my energy somewhere else. But yeah, even though we're entering assumptions territory, this whole banning people from being seen is 100% real. Only shills and people who are safe are let to grow on this platform with a relative ease, and no matter how many Among Us or GTA 5 videos I make, no matter how much and how loud I scream, if I'm not safe for work and YouTube doesn't want me to grow, I won't get any subs, like a single one. So yeah, that's a harsh reality, and anyone who thinks I'm imagining stuff are either trolls or are absolutely living in the Matrix, breathing and drinking Reddit and TikTok. So yeah, I could maybe stop now and observe the game for a while to try and give a little bit of insight as to what I'm doing, although most of this video is me being lost trying to navigate this sewage without any maps or pointers. But yeah, as you can see, I'm absolutely lost, as I've already told you. And yeah, not having a map is something that's very, very bad for a person like me. But yeah, here we have a cool notebook which is given some kind of an obscure message. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in this game there's a lot of obscurity when it comes to like messages and stuff like that. You know, a lot of the stuff that's purely for information is very well written, and it's explicit. But a lot of the things, for example, like this one, there are a lot of implicit messages where you kind of have to piece it together and, you know, think a little bit outside of the box, try to figure out what the other was on about. But yeah, also I really like those like grids, I think you call them, like the rusted grids. They remind me of Nier Automata a bit. But yeah, there's a lot more dark themes in this one, I believe. Like the grids and the flesh is kind of like a cool imagery, in my opinion. But yeah, speaking of gear, I mentioned that I was gonna buy a PC, so I've already ordered it. It's due to arrive on Friday, and yeah, it's got pretty decent components in it. You know, as I've already told you, I'm switching to AMD. I'm still gonna be rocking a like an Intel CPU, but yeah, it's got like 32 gigs of RAM. It has the like the 6750 GPU. I believe that was the graphics card, but it's kind of on par with like somewhere between like the 3070 and 3060 Ti. It's gonna give me like similar performance. Of course, you know, like there's gonna be a difference between like different games. You know, some games are more optimized for Nvidia, others are for AMD. But yeah, overall it's a pretty alright GPU that kind of compares to the third generation of Nvidia. But yeah, I'm not gonna be regretting my decision. I believe that you have to try different stuff in order to see what you like and what you don't. So yeah, I've yet to meet people who are like absolutely discontent with AMD, like with the AMD products, especially the chips. Like the processors of AMD, I believe, are better than Intel's processors. By the way, did you hear the news about like the Intel GPUs? I was kind of on the verge of buying one, but I think they still have to prove themselves on the market, like at least 1 or 2 years. I'd say 2 years even. They have to prove themselves that they can hold up against, you know, AMD and Nvidia, and kind of let the technology marinate and advance, and then there might be a very interesting times might come where people would rather buy like a CPU and a GPU from the same brand because they would kind of work in synchron, like they would be kind of, how do I say it in English? Fuck. It would be kind of like the performance would be better if you have like a pair of a CPU and GPU by the same brand, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, a lot of people are switching to like 1440p. I still think I'm gonna be rocking the smaller monitors. But yeah, I believe anything from 19 to 23, 24 inches is like the sweet spot for gaming. Especially for me, I've never been like a huge monitor guy. Some people just like gaming on like huge monitors that literally wrap around their head, you know, like huge curved monitors. like I just can't. The other thing I kind of don't like is playing games on a phone. Like if a screen is too small or too big, it just doesn't cut it for me. So I still like the 1080p monitors like the best. But yeah, I've already mentioned that, but this game draws a lot of inspiration from Resident Evil. Everything from like the way you reload. You can reload from the menu, and you can reload outside of the menu. You can I don't know, like the enemy types are very interesting because they kind of work like the ones in Resident Evil 1, where you can shoot them, and if you down them, they're not necessarily dead. They even come back stronger, you know. And here, if you don't incinerate enemies, much like in Resident Evil 1, they're surely gonna come back to life and make your life difficult. And yeah, lots of parallels between this game and Resident Evil, like the vibe, the zombification, like this compound where everybody got infected. And yeah, speaking of Resident Evil, what is the game that really defines Resident Evil? Because at some point, when you make, and you know, I don't wanna like sound like a purist, but I believe like too many sequels is a very bad thing. Like sequels and prequels, I'm not really vibing with those, because here's the thing. Remember when Assassin's Creed came out? Like it was the thing. Without that, we'll never get like a game like this one ever again. Or what else? Far Cry 1 and 2, absolutely beasts when it comes to like games and shooters. Borderlands, there's just so many sequels nowadays that you don't really know like which one is the game you like from the franchise. Because here's the thing, I'm gonna give you an example with like an analogy with movies. Like you have a sci-fi movie, let's say one wants to make a sci-fi movie, and you know the technology still hasn't caught up to his ideas, to what he wants to do in the movie. So he makes the first movie, but there's one more problem. He's got even more ideas for a movie, but he can't really make it an hour and a half. Like, I mean, an hour and a half is okay, but he can't really make it like 2 hours. He has like a time constraint. And then like all these ideas, he wants them to use them in another movie, but that's still part of the original idea. Like then it's justified to make a sequel, even more so that if the sequel is being made like far into the future, when the technology has already caught up to the ideas of the writer or the director, whatever. So yeah, I believe a sequel like that is justified. Like for example, let's say Terminator and Terminator 2. That's a justified sequel. But anything past that is kind of like already pushing it, because you know, it's always fun to look at different aspects of the world, and you know, and kind of expand on the universe of a certain franchise. But at a certain point, you're like, am I making a movie or am I making TV series? You get what I mean? Like, I believe some things need to be left for the viewers. Kind of like, I don't know. They have to be led to their imagination, if you get what I mean. And I believe a lot of franchises just make movies and games and you know, all sorts of entertainment just to make profit off of it. You know, I respect all the hustle, and you know, it's a valid point. If you can make money off of something, it's all right. But you have to also expect like people like me who are against that and just won't support like too many sequels and too many prequels. But yeah, I was kind of I'm kind of happy that, you know, Valve games, they only make like two games from the same franchise, like let's say Portal and Portal 2, or maybe three games like Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and 2. Those are technically three games, but they wasn't just they knew when to stop, if you get what I mean. Like, they didn't go the route of Assassin's Creed, you know, all those Ubisoft games, Far Cry, what else? I believe Dead Space. Dead Space definitely has not too many sequels, because I believe 3 was absolutely pointless. Like, you already have co-op in 2. I think they should have stopped there and just let the game you know, let the game get old with dignity. And yeah, okay, what is a good sequel? It should be first like a continuation of the original idea, and it also should be technologically better. That's what I believe. But when you start milking stuff, it's just, I don't really vibe with it. I believe there are a lot of people that share my opinion, but the huge majority of fans, you know, of a certain sequel, they just want more because they're not enjoyers, they're consumers. And yeah, might sound harsh, but you know, I'm not going back on my words. And yeah, this game, back to the game, by the way. So this game, as you can see, it has a lot of old school in it. So if you know old school games, they kind of try to train your memory by making you remember stuff. But that's one of the things I kind of dread when it comes to old games. So good thing I have my trusty phone next to me to take screenshots of stuff. Back in the day, a lot of people would just grab a notebook and start writing down codes and like different clues, because later on the game would ask you, like, would prompt you to input them somewhere. And yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing about old games. Many people like have nostalgia about that. I haven't really played all those like point and click stuff. Not really that type of guy. But I can definitely see, you know, the old school vibe in it, and what the developers were trying to do with the game. Yeah, like, if you remember, like, for the two people who watch my videos, because I don't believe like all of my 21 subscribers watch my videos. They're like people who just subscribed on a whim, you know, back in like 2010, 2011. Like, I believe there's at least like 1 or 2 people who watch my videos. But if you remember, I posted a video about Resident Evil 1, the remake, and it kind of got like a fair view count regarding you know, despite, you know, me lacking, you know, subscribers. But yeah, to my point, I'm just having a brain fart right now. What I want to say is that I kind of want to make another video like that, and I promised you last year that I was gonna make a Titanfall and Titanfall 2 review. Long overdue, though, but I believe I should make a review about this game because I think Titanfall 2 especially is I regard it as the last goose shooter of our time. You know, Apex is kind of substituting Titanfall and Titanfall 2 because at least in Apex you have working lobbies, and unfortunately in Titanfall and Titanfall 2 the lobbies aren't that great. They've been hacked and the player count is very low, and yeah, I really wanna make this game like relevant again, because I believe the more people speak about games like that, the higher the chance of people creating games similar to this one is gonna be. So yeah, I think giving publicity to very good titles, very good shooters is definitely a very good thing. And yeah, so regarding the leap from NVIDIA to AMD, so I still haven't decided whether I should overclock the card. I ordered the card stock as well as the processor. I'm not gonna go into like undervolting and all that jazz because I kind of want to see like the authentic experience without tweaking stuff, and then decide whether I need more performance or not. But yeah, I'm kind of discontent with NVIDIA these days because recently I've had a lot of problems with with RTX voice, which is a plugin you can download, but it's a legit NVIDIA plugin. It's not like some kind of a third-party thing. For some reason, it doesn't come with the GeForce experience. You have to download it, but it's still on their website. And yeah, I've had a lot of issues with it. I'm currently not recording with it because it's kind of bad. Something definitely happened in the last 2 or 3 days that makes my audio quality very bad, and I don't know what it is. I hope it gets patched. Like, I'm gonna try and reinstall it via RTX, like the RTX voice, but yeah, that's one of the things that really bothers me when it comes to the NVIDIA software. One other thing, I was actually contemplating buying the 3070 Ti. But man, like, seriously, why would anyone make a 3070 Ti, like a card that's even better than the one I'm gonna get, and then just only put 8 VRAM in it? Like, my card is gonna have 12 VRAM. I think it's high time that like companies start producing video cards with more VRAM, because more and more AAA games are hogging it all up, and just 8 gigabytes of VRAM is not cutting it anymore. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I didn't buy the 3070 Ti. But yeah, I was seriously contemplating buying this graphics card because if I have to be honest with you, I do like NVIDIA, and I kind of wish they were more consumer friendly, but unfortunately, yeah, they've kind of disappointed me. So I'm moving over to AMD, see what happens. Maybe in the very near future, or maybe not near future, I'm gonna say maybe in a year or two, I'm gonna go back to NVIDIA, like try one of their 5000 series or maybe 4000 series. I don't know, we'll see. Kind of curious to see how they perform. I guess they're gonna perform great, you know, because you know, latest generation, and yeah. Okay, so regarding ray tracing, I'm not really huge on ray tracing, but yeah, I kind of wanted to buy Nvidia because of that fact, because their ray tracing technology is a bit better than AMD. Should I even say much better when it comes to like performance. But yeah, I don't really have any games that I like that utilize ray tracing that much, and I believe in most like how do I say it? In most photorealistic games, ray tracing isn't all that noticeable. It's more noticeable on stylized games. Like for example, look at Portal. Portal, they recently made a version with RTX, and I kind of wanted to play that. I tried playing it on my 2070 on my laptop, but yeah, the frame rate was pretty bad, so I just uninstalled it. And yeah, except for Portal, I think the only game I really want to play with RTX, with ray tracing on, is Minecraft. Believe me or not, because man, I don't know about you, but Minecraft with ray tracing looks absolutely stunning. Even though, you know, like those blocky textures are they kind of take you out of all of that experience, you know. Like, I personally don't care about like the blocky nature of Minecraft, and it actually, in my opinion, looks even better than games that are photorealistic, because I don't know, like the ray tracing in Minecraft gives you like a really nice vibe. I don't really know how to put it, but yeah, when you look at the water reflections, the seaweeds, the sun's rays coming through the trees, it's so cool, man. And it kind of looks like a fairy tale, but like in real life, if you get what I mean. So yeah, Minecraft and ray tracing is like a match made in heaven, in my opinion. And yeah, so yeah, where are we? Okay, so we're still wandering around. Yeah, we're gonna try the doll. Because the nested dolls are basically meant to like be replaced with a hexagon. And yeah, we need the hexagon basically for the mural. And yep, not heavy enough. I guess there is a third one. I mean, I already know, but yeah. So one of the things I really regret not getting my hands on is the revolver in Signalis, because I can kind of imagine the revolver being like the one in Half-Life, with that super punchy sound, like recoil. But if you don't know the revolver in Half-Life, you're just missing out. Like I used to love it when playing Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, or even the single player version. It's just so cool. It's like one shot, one kill for most enemies. And just the animations, the recoil, the noise it emits. It's probably one of the best guns in a video game I've ever played. But yeah, Half-Life 2 is in a league of its own because I don't know, like everything in games, everything in like other games feels a little bit like cardboard. When you play Half-Life, no matter how old like the graphics and the textures are, it still feels palpable. It still feels like close to real life. I don't know how to describe it, but it's so real and so it's so in your face, and that's what I really like about Half-Life. Also the movement is so good in Half-Life. And yeah, that's due to the nature of the Source engine. But yeah, I really appreciate the Source engine. It gave me years of fun. And yeah, now we got our hands on the rifle. We've also got ammo for it. And yeah, we might not have the revolver, but we've got a pretty awesome hunting rifle on us. So yeah, let's explore more. Okay guys, are there rifles with like blue, I think you call those stocks, with like blue stocks? Because this looks awesome. Like really. I can kind of imagine owning one in real life, although I'm not really a gun guy, if you get what I mean. Like I like guns in games, but what do I do with like a real gun? Like, do I go to a shooting range and just waste bullets? Maybe, I don't know, maybe like hunting would be like a nice hobby where you can actually put, you know, like a gun into good use. But I'm kind of lazy, you know, like I don't really like doing a lot of activities when it comes to like, unless it's like hiking, you know. I like climbing mountains. I like what else? I kind of like playing football with like pals and stuff like that. But I don't know, hunting sounds like a lot of commitment and a lot of preparation. It's not just like you pick up your backpack and you climb up a mountain peak, you know, at the top of a mountain. It's a different, you know, it's a different thing. But I guess the reward is there to justify all the hassle. Imagine killing a boar and then you have like tons of food, you know, like 300 kilos of meat easily. And yeah, this game definitely falls into the like the obscure category of games. And I've always appreciated people who play obscure games. I guess I'm one of them too, because I kind of like finding games that are good, but nobody knows about them. Because let's say you're with friends and you start talking about games, and like everybody's, oh man, have you played that game called Red Dead Redemption 2? And everybody's like, oh yeah. And then I say, no, I plan on playing it, but I still haven't installed it. I have it on my Steam account. And they're all like, dude, you're missing out. Everybody has played this game. And then my reply would be, okay, so everybody has played this game apart from me. But who has played Robo Blitz, or who has played the Maw, or I don't know, Rise of the Argonauts? You see, there's so many like hidden gems and old games. They're like very good, and literally nobody knows about them. And they're like very nice conversation starters, because imagine finding a person who actually knows about like a game with one concurrent player that came out in like 2008. You know, it's like an immediate conversation starter, and that's what I like about like obscure games. They they're kind of underappreciated, but you know, when you find someone that has played the game, it's kind of like you don't feel. It's kind of a good feeling, if you get what I mean. But yeah. Speaking of movies, so I have that controversial opinion that modern cinema is like, it's just not on par with movies, let's say 15, like that were made 15 years ago, because I believe Marvel did a lot in that regard by making everything so generic and consumer friendly, and I blame Marvel for the downfall of modern cinema. Like, I think capes and swimsuits and bad acting and green screen, with the exception of only the faces of the characters, has its time and place. But yeah, it's definitely not something I like. And see, my point is, I tried watching those movies, and yeah, some of you may come at me by saying, "Oh, have you watched the Marvel movies? How many have you watched?" I don't have to watch every single Marvel movie to just say that they're overall bad, you know. Because yeah, I've watched movies with friends. I even tried watching movies on my own. Like, I watched that movie with I don't know, with Harley Quinn, like, or Harley Quinn. I don't know how to call it. There was like a movie with that Jewish girl, Gal Gadot. Was she Jewish or Armenian? I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, I haven't tried watching those because, you know, okay, there is a nice girl in the movie. I can kind of try and stomach it, but by not looking at them. But even then, it was so bad, man. I just couldn't. I just couldn't do it. And then, I don't know. Like, Marvel movies are just not for me. Even like DC movies, I don't like superheroes. I used to enjoy the animations, you know, like X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman even. Funny thing, I like the old like Batmans and Spider-Mans, even though, you know, Spider-Man was already kind of pushing it because it had quite a lot of CGI even at that time. But you know, maybe it was because I was kind of like an impressionable young kid, and you know, but the first movie wasn't bad, really. And yeah, Spider-Man movies are kind of all right, I think. But, you know, I can't really watch all the capes and stuff. It's kind of cringe. And yeah, even though, you know, you have like capes, for example, in like Saitama from One Punch Man. It's an anime, but still, you know, he's wearing a cape, but he's like One Punch Man is a kind of like a parody. It's kind of parodying the superhero model of the Western world, and that's why I enjoy it that much, because it's not taking itself too seriously. And yeah. Anyway, speaking of animes, so I like them much better than modern cinema. That's basically the reason I have probably watched like 3 or 4 movies in the past like 4 or 5 years, you know, and yeah. I kind of miss the old ways, you know, where you had like maybe 1 to 2% CGI just to cover the like put some puppet strings, or something that's way too obvious, you know, and everything else is just animatronics and real models. I like those movies. Like those were the thing, you know. Like for example, The Predator, first and second movie, Aliens. Like the Alien franchise is still pretty cool. I don't really like the crossovers when they like have to fight the like the Predator. But I like the movies where there's only like either a predator or either an alien. Prometheus, even though it's, you know, within the modern era, it's like a movie that's made well within the modern era, and has tons of CGI. I kind of like it. Like, I'm not gonna say it was the best movie of the franchise, but it was a pretty solid one. Besides, there was like the characters playing in this movie like absolutely nailed their jobs. Like they were very good actors, especially the girl, man. Like she was she was acting. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of ran out of ideas as to what I want to talk about. So maybe I'm gonna focus on the game a little bit. So yeah, here we are, trying to not get stabbed by the barbed wire. And yeah, that's a pretty cool level. It's like it requires you to carry the flashlight on you in order to clear the level. Or maybe one could just remember the layout and like free up a slot and just not use the flashlight. But yeah, those rooms are kind of like a nice challenge. So yeah, you can clearly see me struggling. Okay, so on to the next one. And yeah, now we have 2 hexagons to find. But yeah, I really like the aesthetics of this level. It's kind of like all the cages strewn around the floor, and the way like this tissue, that flesh, is kind of locked behind like grids and stuff like that. It's kind of like an analogy for flesh prison, or like not really an analogy, but what do you call it? Like a metaphor. Yeah, it's a metaphor for flesh prison. Like something that a lot of people, I mean, not necessarily me, but a lot of people are like feeling that we as a species are very limited, because imagine imagine what types of opportunities we will have if our bodies were more like robots instead of, humans. We could survive falls. We could upload our memory to another body. We could duplicate our memory. We could just change limbs in order to be able to, I don't know, like travel through different terrains. The human body has a lot of limitations, but at the same time, like this transhumanism thing, where you kind of become something else and you like throw away your humanity, is like a scary thought. Like it's definitely a future I'm curious to see, but I'm not necessarily hyped about. You get what I mean? Like I really want to see somebody who is like a cyborg, but I don't really want to necessarily become one, if you get what I mean. I mean, if I can go back into my human body, that would be great. But if I could like transfer my memory to like a robot, that would also be great, because therefore you can live forever technically. But yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. So yeah, now we have I believe the full nested doll. How do you call it? Nested or nesting? Anyway, yeah, we merged the nesting dolls, and now we can take the next hexagon. I'm constantly saving in this game because I'm scared. I just don't want to lose any progress and like items. Even more so that now that I don't have any healing items on me, and like the ammo is very scarce. But yeah, it will probably take me a while until I found the mural. But yeah, this game is what I call a very cool original idea. So it basically depicts like a futuristic, I don't know, like maybe National Socialist like utopia, where it's all about equality, and everybody abides by the rules, and like stuff that a lot of people wanted to escape, but didn't have the a lot of people didn't have the chance to. So yeah, they were like prisoners of their society. So yeah, I'm glad that ideas like Stalinist socialism, National Socialism, and like, I mean, the Chinese socialism is still there, but it's nowhere near as prevalent in like in the world as it used to be. So but yeah, like today's world has its own problems, and yeah, I believe we're going to a better place, but we'll see. Like a lot of people need to realize that the majority should dictate. The people should dictate what their life should be like, and they have to be careful who they choose. I don't really want to go like very political, but this game definitely has some political themes, like, and yeah, you see all the posters, all that quintessential stuff for like the socialist states, like back in like World War II Europe, and even after that. But yeah, this level is definitely like a metaphor for like Flash Prison. And yeah, by the way, I don't know when that happened, but as you can see, Isa is no longer here. I think we lost her, and I'm kind of wary, not worried, but I'm worried about the fact, not the fact, but the prospect of her turning on us, you know, because even though we save her, we don't really know what's in her head, and if her intentions are good, or maybe if her intentions, let's say her intentions are good, even though she still can screw up some stuff for us by making a bad move. But yeah, you never know. So yeah, how I learned about this game. I was kind of reluctant to saying it, but I watched a guy who reviews games and also has like, I mean, I still haven't really had any huge controversial opinions, and I'm kind of careful, but I'm definitely agreeing with a lot of his points. So there's a guy called Synthetic Man on YouTube, and he recommended this game to me. Like not really personally, but he made a video about the games he likes, like recent games that have come out in like 2022, and this one came in 2022, even though I'm playing it like a year later. But yeah, he said that this game is easily one of the best games in 2022, and I can see where he comes from, because he's a huge Resident Evil fan, especially Resident Evil 4, but he also enjoys Resident Evil 1 and believes that Resident Evil 1 remake is the best remake that has ever been made. And yeah, that's why I was curious to play this game, because he said so. He said that the game is awesome, and yeah, I can see where he's coming from. It definitely isn't my thing. Like, I would have never played this game had he not recommended it, but yeah, I can't say this is a bad game. It's definitely a very well made horror, albeit not a high budget one. You know, and you see, the thing is, a lot of huge like studios, like, I don't know. I mean, let's say for example the last Amnesia game. It wasn't very scary, and yeah, they did have the resources to make any game they wanted, because Amnesia is a huge name. Like, the studio should have a lot of resources by now, and yeah, so a lot of studios, despite them having the resources and the manpower, can't really make like a very scary game. And this game is yeah, can be startling and intense, and that goes to show how like a small studio that nobody has ever heard of it before can really nail the atmosphere of a proper horror Resident Evil-esque game. And yeah, here I'm contemplating about my life and why the game is treating me like that, not letting me open the case. But yeah, I'm not gonna blame it on the game. I guess it's my fault because I couldn't really find the key, which I believe should be somewhere like on the upper floors. But now I can't really like go any higher. I'm only restricted to navigating like 2 levels without the map. So yeah, it sucks, but can't do anything about it, unfortunately. Like, you see that enemy like on the ground. So at first I thought this enemy was like that was like an arm, but upon a closer look, it's actually the head of the creature. You see? I thought it was an arm, and I teleported. Yep. I guess that's a bug. But I saw an enemy teleporting somewhere during this video, and I also rubber banded a bit. It's either a bug or my laptop is playing games with me. But yeah, so yeah, the enemies here are really gross. And you know what makes them even scarier is the fact that they're not completely alien looking. Like, they look like zombies. They still look like humans, and like with those pointy legs, and they kind of look like the Half-Life 2 burned body, and like the flesh zombie, if you remember them. So that's what really makes the game disturbing as well, is that you can kind of, you know, when you see like an enemy, what do you fear the most? Like an enemy that looks like you, but it's severely disfigured and you know, looks like a zombie? Or do you fear most like an enemy that doesn't really look like a human? Because I believe humans are inherently more afraid of to see themselves as what they would look like after they die. And that's what really makes the enemies in this game kind of, you know, like scarier. But I don't really know where I was going with this. I'm not really sure if I was able to explain this, but yeah, I can put it into simpler words. You know, death is often depicted as a humanoid creature with like a skull. You imagine yourself being this after you die, so it's kind of like scarier when you think about it. You see, because it's like a reflection of yourself, but after you're deceased. But let's say you have like a huge giant enemy. You know, it's still scary, but it's not like seeing yourself in the mirror. And yeah, we're playing with the radio right now because I believe I'm stuck. I'm 1 hexagon short of completing the puzzle, and I have no idea what to do. Maybe there are clues somewhere around here, but yeah, I still haven't found anything about. Like, I haven't found the whereabouts of the last hexagon. Maybe it's somewhere in here? I don't know. But yeah, the flare gun so far has been like a huge help. It's like easily one of, if not the best weapon in the game. And that's really interesting because a flare gun is never like an offensive weapon in games. It's more like a signal, and they made it so you can kill enemies with this. You can basically burn them to a crisp, or just use different projectiles and transform it into like a grenade launcher. But yeah, I'm really starting to get worried that I won't be able to find the last one, and now I have to like spend half an hour going back and forth, up and down, trying to figure out where the last hexagon is. But yeah, overall, this game, even though I'm not really like a huge Resident Evil 1 and I'm even gonna say Silent Hill fan, and I haven't really dabbled into games like that when I was young, I could easily say that this game has been treating me well. Of course, you know, the postal box thing really got me bummed out, and I had to Google that because there was no way I could have guessed that you could open one of those you know, postal boxes, because I haven't really seen like a cabinet of postal boxes before. But yeah, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here, and yeah, this was me trying to make like sort of like a game commentary, like a podcast type of thing. I didn't really have any other choice because as I've already told you, the RTX software didn't record my voice, so yeah, I had to record something afterwards. But yeah, this is gonna be the end of this video. Let me know in the comments if you like this format more, or you want me to keep on doing what I'm doing. And yeah, we'll see each other in the next one. See you guys.